You're listening to the Impact Implosion on the Angry Marks Podcast Network.
Tidings, people! It is the Halloween episode of the Impact Implosion! As always, my name is Seth Spooky Draken, and on the other end is Monster Mike Poland!
Hey!
Woo!
Spooky!
Spooky!
Running around in a ghost costume, like on SmackDown.
And Mark Henry will punch you. As soon as you
He's
try to
wearing
scare
all
him.
white and Mark Henry comes into the shot.
Yeah.
What are you trying to imply there?
Woo! Oh, somebody getting the wig split today.
Anyway, that's a different show.
Yes, it is.
We got 2 weeks of Impact to cover.
Yes, and we got news.
I just said we didn't.
We've got Kurt Angle going to Bellator. Wait, he's not wrestling. He's there for a fan fest. Get that wrestling out of your mind. Get that MMA shit out of your mind.
Mm-hmm.
And pray to God he does not sign for an MMA fight because he will get killed. Other than that, nothing. Absolutely nothing.
We got 2 weeks of the championship series to cover.
We got, the World Championship Series to cover, and unfortunately these 2 shows weren't good.
This week's show was okay. Last week's show was not.
Oh, this week's show sucked.
What was wrong with this week's show?
This week's show, oh dear God, we'll get to it, but it felt like 3 hours.
Huh.
It felt long. And until like 90 minutes, there was finally a good match. We'll get to it when we get to it.
What's our first show match of our first? We have the highlights from Mount Pavoy for a 3rd week in a row.
We get to say this week's group will feature Group Future 4, Group X Division, and Group
Champions. They don't even bother
Champions.
showing the matches for, but we'll get into it.
By the way, we'll get into that. And then a roundtable with members of Group Champions airs with nothing to note except Aries making fun of EC3 for copying his style.
Yep.
And then we have Mr. Anderson versus Austin Aries. And today, Josh Matthews decides to be a dick. I would like to repeat what he said here. So I'm sure all these internet nerds and stuff are out there like, why is Austin Aries back and stuff? Well, he's Austin Aries. He's a part of Group Champions, and I guess he can come back. He can find a way back.
Like 4 months ago.
Which is basically meaning, yeah, he's back, and we don't have a reason why. After a loser town match. Yes, basically, calling us internet nerds, and basically for asking a simple question of, consistency, and then continuity, and then not even bringing up why. Good news for Anderson, though. The mic dropped this time. And good news, Aries still has Thea Trinidad, and once again, they aren't going to mention that she's from GFW.
Nope, why would they do that?
By the way, during that round table, loved when Anderson and Aries were talking about working in the independents, and EC3 had no idea what those are. Indies. Yeah, they're independents. The company you have the AAAs and stuff, the minor leagues until you get up here.
Right.
Yeah. The same one you went through EC3 in reality. But, yeah, your character. Anyway, Aries wins with a super brainbuster, and Anderson's not able to advance past group play. Good match.
Yeah, Anderson is mathematically eliminated.
Yep, because he's got 0.
And he's only got one match left.
He's only got one match left. Well, at this point, Aries would have 4 points, and at this point, Lashley and in EC3, Franklin in EC3 would have 3 points, and even if he tied with Franklin beat him already. So, yeah, he's out.
Next.
Tigre Uno versus Mark Andrews.
Andrews.
Still not calling him that stupid TNA name. By the way, Tigre Uno, they called him the greatest X Division competitor of all time.
AJ Styles and Jerry Lynn say hello.
Yes, not even fucking close. And you know that is dumb to even suggest.
Hello. Half your former X Division roster says hello.
Yes, anyone who's been a world champion says hello.
Austin Aries.
Yes. Crowd loves Mark Andrews more than the current X Division champion. Not a good sign for the greatest X Division competitor of all time.
Tigre wins. Next
By the way, Tigre Uno doesn't know what a fist bump or a high five are. Greatest X Division competitor of all time.
Then let's continue burying him.
Yes, Andrews was surfing on Tigre Uno before moonsaulting him.
Surf that.
Yep. By the way, Tigre Uno won with the move that he only hits 50% of the time, hitting his target this time. Aries with a winning promo after the victory, and apparently Thea Trinidad is Austin Aries' woman. And no, we don't mean Nancy Benoit.
Nope.
Time for TNA to play the Bound for Glory main event.
Who cares?
So instead of watching that, I will be shaving instead, which only lasted a few minutes because this match still went on.
Hit the fast forward button.
By the way, nice to show your TNA, just to say fuck you to your TNA audience of your Bound for Glory $50 paying audience. They're saying, yeah, we're going to show this match again.
To explain to the rest of the audience why this tournament is happening. Because,
yep.
Oh, why?
Backstage, EC3 says that Franklin claims that his back is against the wall, and he's like, well, he's right. And that makes me lethal and on the verge of a frenzy. That makes him an animal and guarantees that he will beat Franklin because the world title series is not over until he wins.
Catchphrase next.
By the way, yeah, basically we talked about the freaking plot hole, and basically, they showed that whole main event, and basically you could see why EC3 basically got in and was able to easily get an injunction here, because Jeff Hardy was not impartial.
Nope.
Not with his incompetence. Not when Matt puts Drew on top of EC3 before going on the top rope, which is a cover, but Jeff doesn't count. Because he's going to let his brother hit the move instead, or trying to count people out in a triple threat match.
Right.
Or EC3 using a steel chair, and Jeff takes it away from him and hits him with it because no DQs. Yeah, fair, Jeff. Your brother was the straight man. And by the way, after we got that match out of the way, TNA had bumped the future 4 matches for that replay. TNA's motto, fuck the future.
And the Eli Drake-Micahs match actually looked like it could have been pretty good.
Both matches I actually wanted to see. I did want to see Jesse Goddard's versus Crimson a bit.
Mm-hmm.
Jesse Goddard's won with the Adonis Boston Crab. And then Jesse Goddard's gives us his top 5 reasons he will advance, which I will not repeat. Because, and Eli Drake and Micah went to a double countout.
Yay.
So yeah, they drew. They got 1 point each.
Mm-hmm.
So next, it's time for GJZ versus Manic.
Manic Depressant.
And by the way, Manic went maskless at BFG, but in this series, he puts the mask back on. And Jut, because this was taped before, he took the mask off. So how do they explain this one? Manic didn't win with his mask off, so he put it back on because good luck, I guess.
Gotta explain it away somehow.
Yes, we gotta explain it away somehow. And they called Shane Helms the best cruiserweight of all time.
No.
No.
How about no?
How about this? How about cruiserweights have actually won the world title?
Rey
Was
Mysterio.
Helms one of them? No. Then by default, he is not the greatest cruiserweight. Let me name the cruiserweights who won the world title. The great cruiserweights. Jeff Hardy.
Eddie Guerrero.
Rey Mysterio. Chris Jericho.
Jericho was the undisputed champion for a time.
Yes. So basically, what we're saying is, yeah, Gregory Helms was not the greatest cruiserweight champion of all time. Not even fucking close. Oh, Christian. Fucking Christian.
Matt Hardy.
Yeah, Matt Hardy. Matt Hardy just won the world title, so he's better than Shane Helms.
We could go on.
We could go on, but basically, yeah, cruiserweights have won the world title. They're better than Shane Helms. Gregory Shane Helms, whatever he calls himself.
Gregory Shane Hurricane.
So this was the best match of the night, Manic versus DJZ. Manic does some flip kick that has the guy set up for a Death Valley driver for the win.
Yep.
This was weird finish though.
Right, because Death Valley driver hasn't finished the match in years.
So, by the way, let's replay the last EC3 versus Franklin matchup to see how a total clusterfuck that was. Yeah. So it's time for EC3 versus Franklin the Turtle in our main event.
Because nothing screams main event like the main event we saw 6 months ago.
By the way, EC3 won by cheating yet again. While it was a mess, it didn't involve refs getting bumped and refs getting punched and all that shit. Like the last one did. It did involve a ref getting bumped and a steel chair, but it didn't involve multiple referees getting hit. Overall, I gotta give this episode a D.
Yep.
Good to great on the first two matches, but then the show falls apart afterwards.
And this week's show,
which I thought was worse, and I'll exactly tell you why. This one easily was worse. Worse. Yeah. So we had what they called a can't miss show. I'm gonna say that's bullshit. So we had entrances for the match between Robbie E and Matt Hardy going on, but we need to talk about group champions. And EC3 talking about being the champion of champions and bragging about kicking out of the spear.
He must have had a super long entrance.
Yeah, because we just skipped his entrance and went right to Matt Hardy.
We should have given away the fact that he was probably losing.
Yeah,
we're not even going to bother with his entrance.
So Poop goes saying that Robbie E is no longer goofy like Avatar and Leif Cassidy. So he joins Mick Foley with the Al Snow put-downs. And then
Robbie will also never have a DVD collection named after him, so you know.
Then Pope has a term that I would just...
Dear God,
he can wrestle-tarian. He can trademark that all he wants.
It's not getting over.
Because no one is stupid enough to use that as it is. So go ahead and trademark that all you want.
It's not getting over.
Yeah, that is stupid.
This is one of Pope's many dumb commentary lines. We'll get into more during the X Division match later.
Matt Hardy kicks out of Robbie E's finisher, the Boom Drop, and then Matt Hardy wins with the Twist of Fate. This match was actually okay.
Yep, Matt is now on top of the leaderboard in Team Champions. And has one match left.
He has one match left. He can still get out, but it'd take a miracle.
What was the miracle?
So
he only has one match left.
Yeah, no, he's still not physically advanced yet. There can be still some way
even if he lost to Eddie Edwards, though. He has 6 points. He's on top of the board.
Well, here's the thing. If Robbie E beats Davey Richards and Eddie Edwards beats Davey Richards and Matt Hardy's in. Robbie E would be out. Yeah, Matt Hardy's
Davey and Eddie face next week.
Yeah. So, by the way, Gail says, Awesome Kong, I'm coming for you. I'm not going to go Booker T on that one because that would make Gail Kim a racist.
That's Booker T's expression of me after he says that line is great, though.
No, actually, what was even greater was Stevie Ray and Sherry Elizabeth's reaction. Not Sherry Elizabeth, Sensational Sherry. Sherry Martel.
Sherry.
Yeah, Sherry Martel. Sister Sherry. Their reaction to when he says that. He leaves, and they're like...
We don't know what to do here.
Yeah. So, anyway,
cut.
Matt Hardy, they show it again, in case you forgot what happened over the commercial break. And then Robbie E says, I hope this will take me closer to being taken seriously. And I'm like, you will never be taken seriously. Sorry. As long as you keep saying boom. So
who has the less chance of getting over, him or Tyler Breeze?
Him.
I don't know.
Then Matt Hardy talks about how he actually appreciates Robbie E's toughness, and then Grado shows up.
That makes one person who appreciates Robbie E.
Grado shows up
for no reason.
Interrupts Matt Hardy to get a selfie, and he has to be subtitled.
And he has a match with Drew Galloway.
By the way, Matt Hardy, when he does the selfie, he puts his fingers in front of his face. Grado can't even win there. So yeah, Drew Galloway versus Grado. Grado being in this tournament is a fucking joke.
Grado is the jobber of the tournament.
And Josh tries to say, what would happen if Grado beats Drew Galloway?
Nope.
Just stop trying to pass off hope for this guy. Grado hits an accidental low blow. He should be DQ'd, but the ref says it's accidental, so no DQ.
And Drew unloads on him.
Yeah, Drew got pissed at him and told Grado to show some fire, and yet Grado still has to steal finishers. That is not fire. And
the only good spot is Drew sitting up out of the frickin' Creo and suplexing Grado off the ropes.
Yep. We'll get to that. We'll get to what happened after that. By the way, Drew Galloway hits what his new move, that running feet thing, and calls it the Claymore.
Can Paul stop calling Drew Leonidas?
I asked him about that and told him, he said, well, that makes Drew Galloway better than Grado Leonidas.
Well, it's not funny.
He knows. So don't try. So,
next up
play
is
the implosion of the Revolution, and James Storm losing to Shera. By the way, technically, Grado can still advance in this tournament.
No, he lost his spud.
Let's see.
He's out too.
Oh yeah, you're right. He's out. He lost his spud. Yeah, in the tiebreaker.
Ugh, that horrible match.
Yeah.
I'm not surprised you didn't remember that.
Well, actually, if it's a three-way, he might still have a chance. Barely. If he defeats Brahm. If he defeats Brahm defeats Spud, and Matt Hardy defeats Spud, and Spud defeats
Drew.
Spud loses to Drew.
Yeah, we'll talk about Brahm and Spud because they face next week.
Yeah.
That whole thing.
Yeah, so
we'll get to that.
Yeah, in a three-way tie, technically he could still make it.
Yeah.
I don't know how the rules work in that case. I guess they have an extra
Probably
match.
A triple threat or something.
Yeah, so he's not eliminated yet. So then when the Revolution and they said, remember when the Revolution were ever a threat? Were a threat to TNA? And I was like, no. They lost every match they were in.
No, didn't they put Jeff Hardy out?
Yes, by accident. Because Jeff was an idiot.
I'm going to jump off this 15-foot thing.
And land on the stairs. And nearly kill myself.
Nothing can go wrong here.
Yes. Yes. they took out Jeff Hardy because Jeff was an idiot, not because of anything they did. So anyway, Crazy Steve versus Aiden O'Shea.
God.
Yes, this was the worst match of the night, people. And I would like to present Exhibit A, where the match delays over a freaking horn because Steve wants to honk his horn. The ref's like, get the horn out of here. Aiden decides, all right, we're going to put the horn in the corner. Come and get it. I'll shove you around. And then you attack, and then use the horn, and then we can finally get this match started.
Yeah.
Yes. This match may be the worst match of the night. It was the worst match of the night, and that was including a Grado match.
Aiden O'Shea wins and has 3 points. Next.
By the way, Josh tried to say that Grado almost pulled off a major upset. No, he did not. That match was not even close.
He hit like 5 moves.
Aiden O'Shea does a spot where he punches Steve, misses, hits the steps instead, and then when Steve's on the post, tries to punch him again, hits the post.
Yeah.
And Aiden O'Shea's
the big clothesline.
What is a clothesline? Not even a lariat, a regular fucking clothesline.
It's not a Stan Hansen lariat, it's not a clothesline from hell, it's just
a
clothesline.
A jumping clothesline.
It's the Mike Rotundo clothesline.
People, we are in 2015. We are not in the 80s, 70s, or 60s. Clotheslines are not finishers anymore. Then we had a promo from James Storm talking about how TNA Originals are a dying breed. And I was like, yes, they are.
Oh, we did have a backstage one from Abyss, too.
Because of one person, and her name is Dixie Carter. And yes, we had an Abyss promo as well. But so, yes, Abyss. The only person that next match is Abyss. The only person I know that won the world title because of a disqualification.
I'll have to check on that. That might not be true.
No, he did. Well, he may not be the only person that I know of. Because he did win the world title by a DQ.
Right.
And
this is a fun brawl.
James Storm, a TNA original who has already left the company and wrestled elsewhere, and TNA wants to keep him so he can job to Shira.
Yep.
You know?
I like the refereeing in this match where they bring in weapons and the referee's like, let it go.
Actually, before that, we had to go back to Grado versus Drew Galloway, and we got to see a segment where Grado talks gibberish and
Grado is delirious
in a forklift. So Grado is making fun of a person with a concussion.
Who has a concussion?
Yeah, Grado was like, he has a concussion. It's a joke. It's 2015. That is not funny anymore. Getting your head knocked loopy is not funny anymore.
Wasn't funny before.
No. It wasn't funny. It's not funny. It's not, hey, let's have a brain damaged character to go completely back to from the serious character back to being goofy because of brain damage. So time for James Storm versus Abyss. And I was hoping for this match to be good.
It wasn't terrible.
Abyss got the jobber entrance because he came out to the Revolution theme. So James Storm tells Abyss to do the smart thing and walk away so I can win by count out.
I'm still the 6'8" monster of fucking wanted a mass
and another thing, cheap shot.
And I'll punch you in the mouth.
James Storm steals a woman's water bottle, and I hope he better pay her for her to get a new one. Because considering those bottles, they are fucking expensive. $4 worth. You better pay her a $5, buddy. So, Abyss, James Storm brings in a steel chair, and I would like to absolutely show you why this is stupid, and the announcers say why this is stupid. James Storm hits him with that steel chair. He loses. He is DQ'd.
So what does he do? He wedges it in between the top and middle corner.
So, and if he still hits this, he is DQ'd. So I was like, Abyss, just let Storm hit you with the chair. A win is a win. But no. Because Abyss decides, nope, let's not do that, and let's hit James Storm with the chair, and that doesn't get DQ'd.
Damn it, Earl.
Introduced it.
Damn it, Earl.
Yeah. So,
and Abyss gets Janice.
Brings in freaking Janice.
Yay, logic.
If he hits him, even though that's not going to happen because James Storm doesn't have a shirt on.
And it would kill him.
It would kill him, so Janice is not going to hit him. Basically, even though if he hits him, Abyss gets DQ'd and James Storm gets points.
Abyss goes for a superplex, Storm blocks it and lands the sunset powerbomb and then lands an elbow from the top rope.
No, that didn't end the match.
I know, I didn't say it did.
But James Storm, yeah, he missed with Janice. Storm hit him with the bell while the ref was distracted by Janice. Janice is fucking worthless.
So about 4 times now we should have had a DQ.
Yes. In a match where that can win you points. And nobody goes, you know what, I'm going to take it.
Poor psychology.
This is absolutely bad. And then it continues. James Storm hits a last call. Abyss completely no-sells this. Chokeslam. And at this point I am like, sadly, Matt Hardy versus Robbie E is still the best match. Because it is at least somewhat capable. Then, Storm grabs a beer. The ref takes the bottle away from him.
Hey, he actually took the weapon away from him.
Storm has drank it. While he's distracted with the bottle, he spits in the face.
Abyss who doesn't want to be cool.
Yeah. And Storm hits 2 last calls to win.
Terrible psychology in this match.
4 matches and not one great good match. Just okay matches. One okay match and a bunch of matches that were just, what the fuck?
Next.
JB interviews Shira with what looks like the backdrop of a roof. It doesn't even look like they're on a real roof.
Somebody quick, shove him off.
It looks like they went to the set of The Room with Tommy Wiseau, if you've ever seen that film.
Maybe.
You're tearing me apart, Lisa!
Maybe.
Yeah. So
Shira faces Kenny King next week. We also have a video package for...
And Shira needs subtitles because he can't speak good English, and even the subtitles can't speak good English. I am like great. I want to have fun and stuff. Seriously.
Terrible.
We are getting a TNA Impact tour in Mumbai. So basically, yep, we are basically saying this guy's going to be a headliner. This guy cannot speak English and who sucks at matches.
I hope I don't have to. I have to watch these eventually if and when they air. But
exclusive interview with Jeff Hardy next week.
Also next week, Bobby Roode versus Eric Young.
Yes, as our main event.
And
actually, I'm fine with that.
Also next week, Davey Richards and Eddie Edwards. And Madison Rayne versus Brooke.
Yes.
And we all know who Josh Mathis is polling for, according to Pope.
Nice one, Pope. Actually, that is true. That was actually a good joke.
Matthews comment during the exhibition match where Pope is telling him to call this, and I'm like, well, he's like, I'm a trained broadcaster. I'm trying not to step on you here. I'm trying to help you out.
So, also, you forgot that we're going to have Rockstar Spud versus Bram. Oh, yeah, he's got a reason. Oh, yeah, people, he's got a reason to groan with the results of that match if you saw the tapings. Which you did, obviously.
Yep.
Because, yeah, we'll tell you. You'll see it. Anyway, Tigre Uno versus DJZ. And I am like 90 minutes in, and I am thankful for a fucking good match.
This is good, but there was a few sloppy spots here.
Considering the 90 minutes I had to watch beforehand, I will take this.
DJZ botching, trying to snap the neck of Tigre Uno on the ropes, and then the test is in the stairs.
Yes. DJZ beats the X Division champion, definitely means he's got to get a future title shot. It definitely means that. Or they'll completely forget about it.
None of this will be canon once it ends.
Yes. And even the announcers are like, that means he's got to get a future title shot for sure.
Nope. It's not going to matter. Sorry.
Short replay of Gail Kim versus Awesome Kong from Bound for Glory, which I skipped.
They showed highlights of their feud from throughout the night, and I forgot that they actually had a feud way back in like 2008.
Yeah.
I forgot about that.
Time for Kabuki Taker versus the woman giantess with obvious back problems. 2015 main event, kids.
Unfortunately, this match does not age well.
That's unfortunate. And fortunately, this match is not terrible.
It's not terrible, but it was definitely better 7 years ago.
Yes, it was. It is still the second best match of the night.
Yes, that's pretty sad when, I guess...
Gail Kim counters an awesome bomb with a roll-up.
And wins.
She has
3 points.
This episode gets a D-.
Yeah, not good.
I felt like watching a 3-hour Raw while watching this.
And it was only 2 hours. Well, less than that if you count commercials.
Yes. That should not happen, Impact. What the fuck?
Time management.
Jesus Christ, you cannot have these terrible matches all in a row and expect this to be a can't-miss show. This is definitely the show you miss.
Worse. This tournament's getting worse.
I know.
As weeks wear on. Anything to sell for you, Seth?
Well, next week we might actually have good matches.
Yeah, we have Rude and EY and Davey and Eddie. So we have 2 good matches.
We may have good matches this week.
Nick and Mark Andrews might be good. Nash and Ray and Brooke probably won't be.
No. We know
Ram and Spot have already grown about that throughout the show.
We know that match is going to suck. We already know. I'm sorry. We know. We're not spoiling anything. It's going to suck. Oh, and Mahabali Shera versus Kenny King.
Poor Kenny.
Poor Kenny. He's got to try to carry that loaf. Not even James Storm could carry him to a good match.
And that's why Storm left. He's like, I can't work with this guy.
Yes. So, actually, I do have thing to sell. I have next on this Saturday is going to be the induction of Pro Wrestlers vs. Zombies, one of Roddy Piper's last movies. So, that means it's time to vote for what's next.
Do we have any Thanksgiving-themed movies?
No, actually, it's not any Thanksgiving. It's from the last few, from May to September. I did a bunch of polls on movies that fans may want to see and movies I own. And these are the movies that almost won or were like second place. Or in some cases, third place. So, here are the movies. Night of the Living Dead 3D. Night of the Living Dead gets an unneeded remake because there was already a good remake made.
Yep.
The Unholy, 1988. Evil goes down in the toilet as English actor Trevor Howard's last role was in this film that never had a prayer of being good. Lair of the White Woman. More than likely, director Ken Russell took pages from the Bram Stoker story, rolled them up, and smoked them while he was making this movie. By the way, this is one of Hugh Grant's early movies. Blood Diner, 1987. First they will greet you, and then they will force you to endure a cheesy movie. Earth vs. the Spider, 2001. Man Spider makes bad movies like a spider can't. Actually, no. Man Spider makes bad movies like a spider can't. Devil Dog, The Hound from Hell, 1978. Better roll up the newspaper for this bad movie.
Bad dog, bad.
Snow Shark, Ancient Snow Beast, 2011. The biggest sin of this preposterous idea is how boring this film is. Son of Godzilla, 1967. In the late 1960s, Toho Studios in Japan decided for some reason that we should turn the terrifying monster that became a good guy in Godzilla into a father. Yes, this is the film that introduced the world to the awfulness of Minya or Manila. Also in here is half of the footage they would use as stock footage for the extremely bad Godzilla's Revenge. Battleship, 2012. In 2012, we got a movie based on a classic board game, Battleship. But instead of two battleships duking it out like the actual game, the filmmakers instead decided to have the Navy fight aliens and basically rip off Michael Bay's Transformers series so they might be able to make some cash. Fortunately for us, and not for them, this plan completely backfired, and the film was considered, in North America, one of the biggest box office failures of 2012.
It sunk.
Sunk. Seed of Chucky, 2004. Introducing the lowest point of Chucky's careir. The time
and that does not include working with Rick Steiner.
Yes, the lowest point in his career. That time he became a father.
I think I did see this movie.
Dracula 2000. 2000. This is Dracula! Not really, but since Gerard Butler plays Dracula in this film, I had to do it.
Oh, boy.
Jennifer's Body, 2009.
I've heard of that.
Diablo Cody goes from winning an Academy Award for Best Original Screenplay to writing this extremely mind-numbingly stupid horror film that tries to act smart when it just isn't. 13 Ghosts, 2001. Remaking a William Castle film is always a hit or miss, and this film was certainly a miss. And finally, Ghost Rider 2007. Nicolas Cage finally gets his wish to play a comic book superhero, and it's as bad as you would think. Right now, it looks like that Snow Shark may win, with a 2-vote lead.
Yes.
That is all I have. Do you have anything to sell?
I have a bunch.
Go ahead.
IWE returns to South Portland next Friday night with a Falls County War match as Big Gene Bauer takes on Flash McKenna. We also have a main state title match with Wild Thing Rick Daniels coming up facing Styler Graves. And in his farewell match for that area, it is the Heyman Eric Johnson taking on Firebrand Brian Fury. Plus much more. Northeast Wrestling presents Pussy City Slam next Friday night, featuring Northeast Wrestling superstar, Northeast Wrestling champion, Ring of Honor superstar, Matt Taven, taking on Warbeard Hansen. Matt Hardy will be on the show. Jerry Lawler faces Robbie E. Mickey James, Magnus. Dalton Castle takes on TK O'Ryan, which is actually a first name and a last name. And then the K-Man Connection will also be in tag team action. On November 7th, Northeast Wrestling presents the King of Bethany tournament, featuring Dijak taking on Michael Bennett, Randy Shawn taking on, and plus a Survivor Series elimination match. And on November 13th, Northeast Wrestling presents their 20th anniversary spectacular, main evented by Matt Hardy to take on Rey Mysterio, as well as a casket match with Ron Zombie to take on Brian Anthony with Jeff Hardy as the ref. Bobby Lashley is there. Velvet Sky will take on Mandy Leone. And the first ever Rowdy Roddy Piper Memorial Battle Royal, plus much more. IWE returns to Fairfield on November 20th, featuring former WWE superstar Savio Vega against Mark Moment. Also on the card will be Mike Orlando to take on the spectacular JC. Miss Tequila Rose takes on Sarah D'Erico. And the Mutts will take on the debuting Grayson, plus Aftershock Adam Ricker, the main eventers, and more. And then on November 21st, IWE returns to Brewer, featuring Savio Vega, featuring the 3 stages of destruction in the main event as Aftershock Adam Ricker and Alexander Lee look to unify the IWE Twin Cities and heavyweight title, plus the final match of Eric Johnson against Tyler Graves in a kendo stick match. And in a no count-out match, the Mutts will battle the Players Society, plus the return of Mike Orlando, as well as the debut of the Graysons and much more. And that's it. That's all I've got.
With all that said, we will see you next week. And Miley, we got to go for a walk.
Yep.
See you next week.